Allegedly, New York police officers stood by and allowed a woman to be stabbed many, many times. Let's put up the picture. Very sad. Christina Lee was stalked by a stranger, murdered in her apartment in 2022. Now, a lawsuit details how police spoke to her killer through the door, but did nothing to help. Lee's body was found inside, and Asamit Nash 25 was found hiding under a mattress. He was charged with murder. Okay. Nash snuck in behind her as she entered her Christie Street building around 4:20 a.m. We have the screenshots. This was on February 13th, 2022. Neighbors heard her cries for help for at least 5 minutes as she was being viciously butchered and dialed 911. Two unidentified officers from the 5th precinct, about 3 blocks away, responded to the 911 call in 4 minutes. They heard Miss Lee screaming for help, according to the Manhattan Supreme Court filing against the city and the cops. Despite having reason to believe that Miss Lee's life was in imminent danger, the officers failed to gain entry to Miss Lee's apartment or otherwise provide her with any potentially life-saving police or medical assistance until Miss Lee had been stabbed more than 40 times. They even spoke to her alleged killer through the closed door of Miss Lee's apartment. It took additional officers more than an hour to arrive. The officers' identities have not been released. Until they are, there is the responsible New York City police leadership, Commissioner Soule, Chief of Patrol John Chell, and Chief of Training Juanita Holmes. The family has nearly reached their GoFundMe goal. This is the GoFundMe for them. The GoFundMe was promoted by Lee's family, who dedicated the funds to women's rights, a cause that Lee supported. Funds went to support organizations such as Planned Parenthood, Womankind, Safe Walks, which seeks to protect women commuting in New York neighborhoods. And we support those organizations as well. Please give if you can. So what happened here? I thought the police liked running into apartments. I thought they liked kicking in doors. I thought they would run into the danger. You mean to tell me screaming is happening? Now remember, the screaming was happening before the cops arrived. 911 gets a call. The operator hears the proclamation of the neighbor. They're screaming. Obviously there's violence. We need the police. It's been happening for about 5 minutes or more. Police come in 4 minutes. So now you have at least 9 minutes, of a murder. 9 minutes in, the police get there. They talk to the killer through the door. They hear the screamings. They do nothing. They hear the shouts. They do nothing. They hear the calls for help. They do not enter. They do not forcibly enter. See, now you have all of the probable cause you need to do whatever in order to save the life of the person in danger. Remember those two elements? Either you believe that your life as an officer is in imminent danger or somebody else's. Remember that part? Or someone else's life is in imminent danger. You can now take action. This is why you are paid. This is why we give you a gun and you get an oath and you get the opportunity to be a hero. But they waited for an hour, according to the official filing, before they entered. By that time, you got over 40 stab wounds. You have a dead Miss Lee, and you have an alleged killer who's hiding under a mattress. Why did they wait this long? I got questions. The police are supposed to be at their best in this moment, right? This is the moment where we should be talking about how they saved the life of Miss Lee. But that's not the conversation today. And as long as they continue to hide the identity of those who have been accused of not doing their job, and as long as we have court rulings that justify cops not doing their job, saying that they are not constitutionally mandated to protect or legally mandated to protect, we will have this problem. Unequal application, not only of the law, but also of protection. Any thoughts?
Yeah, this is a really harsh and sad reminder of the simple fact that policing in the United States is fundamentally an institution of cowardice. It is an institution of fear and cowardice. That is why I think policing exists in the way it does in the United States, and it's why police behave the way that they do. Fundamentally, for example, police officers will actively target homeless people, despite the fact that homeless people are far more likely to be the victim of a crime than the perpetrator of a crime, right? And then that's why you see police officers regularly victimizing innocent people while also treating literal murderers with kid gloves, especially if they're a white supremacist that has committed some sort of mass shooting. Somehow they tend to get apprehended quite peacefully very often. And you realize that at the core of this is really just the fear, right? Police officers are funded and fueled by the fear and paranoia of privileged people in the suburbs who want to use violence as a way to bother the people that they don't like so that they can feel less afraid. And unfortunately, that doesn't actually mean helping people who are in danger. All it really means is concentrating danger into spaces where privileged people are less likely to see it and experience it.
That's right. This is the reason I'm happy this lawsuit is going forward, because it allows for exposure. It may even allow for a deposition or two, so you get things on the record you normally would not. So we will see how this develops. It is an ironic lawsuit, but I think a necessary lawsuit, to say the least.